We're just one stop along the way, as Mr. Singleton and Mr. Hogue can tell you. Decisions of our board are appealable to circuit court and then further on up the line. I might address too, for those of you that haven't been here before, and I know some of you people have very strong feelings about the fact that they are in a dry county. Yes, you are in a dry county, but there are laws in place that do allow private clubs to come in and ask for permits. It doesn't necessarily mean they're granted, but under the laws of the state of Arkansas, we as a board are obligated and have a responsibility for those. So the only way to change that law, as Mr. Hester well knows, has been fighting this battle for a long time, is if you wish the laws to be something other than that, that is done at the state legislative level. You can do that in your legislature. So that's kind of the laws. The laws that we have on the books are the ones we exist under. So with that, Mr. Bennett, you want to put us on record?
Okay. Tape recording has already started. I would simply say that today is the day that has been set aside for the monthly meeting of the Alcohol Beverage Control Board. Let the record reflect that all 5 board members are present. The first item for your consideration is the application of Mr. Richard E. Johnson, Outback Steakhouse, as represented by Mr. Singleton. There are opposition parties present. They are represented by Mr. David Hogue and Conrad. Mr. Singleton, Mr. Hogue, we are now at that point where potential witnesses need to be sworn. Would you please have your witnesses and or potential witnesses stand to be recognized by the chair and to be sworn in by the chair?
Richard, Doctor, Jason, there you go. That's all.
I believe my witnesses know who they are. A couple of people just came in. Mr. Rogers, Mr. Jacobson, Mr. Welburn, Ms. Whitehurst, Mr. Ballard, and Mr. McCann is here.
Is Mr. Hester not on your list? Okay, no.
I can be though.
You stand up anyway. You
I'll
make
do.
it where you want.
We may get him whether we need him or not.
Yeah.
All right. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony you are about to give in this hearing is the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. As this progresses too, and the attorneys are well aware of it, if the testimony becomes repetitive, if it is the same testimony being offered, as chairman, I will remind the attorneys that we have already heard this before, to kind of keep the hearing moving and in line. Sometimes we do have some people that will want to say the same thing, and we just don't need to hear the same thing 3 different times. We will note who wants to say it, that's part of the record, and then move on. So with that, Mr. Singleton, your client wishing the permit, if you will explain to us what this permit is, what it's all about, and why y'all feel it should be granted.
Chairman, board members, I'm here this morning representing Richard Johnson, Outback Steakhouse in Jonesboro, nonprofit corporation. As you get the chance to look at the file and circulate it, you will see that there are a couple of public officials up there that have written letters of objection. But I think it's interesting to note that nobody in the city of Jonesboro, representing the city of Jonesboro, has filed any opposition. I don't think there are any public officials here. Could be wrong, but I don't think they're here today in opposition. The statements in there are the statements that you've seen from public officials up there that basically say this is a dry county, people vote are dry, and that sort of thing. They really don't say anything critical about this application or about Mr. Johnson as a council agent. Of course, we all know it's a dry county, and that really doesn't add much to the dialogue. This is a site, as you'll see from the maps we're going to present. It's in the southwestern part of Jonesboro. It's in an area that is actually a small shopping mall that seems to have plenty of parking there. It's in an area that is not traffic congested. I think there's probably some talk about traffic congestion, but I don't think that the Outback there has created or contributes significantly to traffic in the area. Mr. Johnson here has run Outback Restaurant at that location for 4 years now. And some of you may remember couple of board members, agree that this same entity applied for a private club license, I guess it's been a little over 5 years ago now at the same location.
Seems like only yesterday, Mr. Singer.
Seems like only yesterday, time flies, but we think this is a different situation, it's a different dynamic. The laws have been changed since then, so there are a lot of things that we believe distinguish this application from the one the board considered 45 years ago. Any of the businesses up there in support, you see the Jonesboro Chamber of Commerce has written letter in support. Arkansas Hospitality Association has written letter in support. Mr. McNulty is here to testify on behalf of the application. Many of the businesses around, I'm not sure that all of them have signed statements in support, but many of the businesses around have indicated their support. Mr. Johnson will talk about those a little bit as we go on. As you know, since the legislature amended the private club law in 2003, they stated some specific legislative intent that this board has recognized and ascribed to, I think, over the past 2 or 3 years on restaurant applications. That legislative intent is that restaurants specifically have language in there that indicates that legislature intends for them to be able to get private club license. As a result of that, as y'all know, this board has entertained several applications from restaurants over the last couple of years. Granted some of those, but since the law has been changed, I believe there's only been one actual restaurant granted a license in Jonesboro, the Heroes downtown. I think it almost goes without saying that restaurant has not created any problems for Jonesboro, law enforcement problems, traffic problems that we know of. Just haven't been any of that kind of problem. And we would ask you to kind of use your own common sense and think about the fact that restaurants typically don't create any of those kinds of problems. Food service is the main thing that Outback does, and food service is still going to be the primary draw if you decide to grant this private club license. Just make mention of the fact that the Arkansas law provides that we have the burden of showing 2 things in this application. That the application is qualified, and we believe clearly it is, with the testimony to that effect, and that the application is in public interest. You'll see from the file that we, a couple of months back, put petitions in the file with, I think, 813 signatures on support. We've got petitions today, another 2,000 or more. I don't have the exact count, I'll try to get it for the hearing is over, but more than 2,000 more petitions in support that we put in the file. We have business leaders, we have Professor Batanich from Arkansas State University who will tell you why he thinks this is important in the area, and other people that know Jonesboro and live in Jonesboro that testify in support. Even though Jonesboro or Craighead County now has 13 private club licenses, I think 12 of those are in the city. We believe that per capita they're still way under other comparable counties in the state. We think there's plenty of room for growth without reaching any sort of saturation point up there, and we'll try to put on some evidence to that effect. We'll also put on the evidence that the nearest intersection to this location, which is Southwest Drive and Alexander Drive, has been free of accidents in the past years. We don't believe there's been any accidents in the area in the past year. May have been some up on the 63 bypass, but those traffic up there has little or nothing to do with the people that are trying to get in and out of there.
Mr. Singleton, before you move on there, and we might as well get this out of the way, because I always ask both sides, how did y'all go about gathering your, what is now 2,800 petitions?
I believe that Mr. Johnson and his people gathered all the petitions in the restaurant. Is that correct?
People that actually came inside the facility and signed, and we'll see those here in a minute.
He's indicated most of the majority of it together.
Okay. Thank you.
Outback has been a good corporate citizen up there. We're going to put an exhibit in the file that shows the many charitable contributions that they've made over the past few years up there to various charities, some 60-something thousand, I think, Richard's told me, contributions, and they'll continue to do that. I guess whether or not they get this license, they'll be in a better position to do it if you decide after they have this grant license.
How long has that Outback been there now?
4.5 years.
4.5.
And I will call Richard Johnson. Richard, can you state your name for real?
Richard E. Johnson,
And where you live?
3900 Lafayette Lane, Jonesboro.
What is your occupation in Jonesboro?
I'm the managing partner of Outback Steakhouse.
And I understand or see that you're also the managing agent, the applicant for Outback Steakhouse of Jonesboro, Inc.,
Yes, sir.
the nonprofit corporation, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You filed an application for a private club license.
Yes, sir.
What's the address of your business there? Richard?
906C Southwest Drive.
I guess let's start with this map, give the board a little bit of orientation. Does that map indicate where your business is, little X, yellow around it there?
Yes, sir.
Is that fairly accurate about the location?
Yes, sir.
And I see it's on southwest, very close to southwest Alexander Drive, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And as the map be submitted as applicants one. I don't know if this map adds much to it, Richard, but let me just let you point to where, let's see, are we upside down? Right here,
Yes, sir.
in this area here. Tell the board what's around you at that location.
It's a mall. There's about 20 businesses in that area with us.
Those businesses, I think that you have talked to, have you talked to all of them, part of them?
3/4 of them.
And have they pretty much all indicated, the ones you talked to, that they're in support of your application?
Yes, sir.
Any of them voiced any concerns about parking problems or anything like that in that mall?
No, sir.
Now, what's a complex, what's in that mall?
There's.
And I know you can probably just give us a rough idea.
There's a couple restaurants, a couple jewelry stores. There's also doctor's office, a insurance agent, a couple health food stores, that kind of stuff.
What is this is Southwest Drive, what highway is that?
It's it runs to 49. We're coming in 49 turns into southwest, and then it turns into.
And this is the first big light that you get to when you're coming in there?
We're past the light. We're over the overpass. We're behind First National Bank. But there's a light, and then you go over the overpass.
This
Oh,
mall's
okay.
been there for some
All right.
number of years.
Yes,
All right, I
sir.
see.
This is Highway 49 coming south from, I guess, Wiener, is that
Yes, sir.
that way?
Yes, sir.
And 49 becomes Southwest Drive once it crosses 63 bypass, is that correct?
Correct.
And it's a straight shot over the bypass to get to your turn in here, Alexander Road, and another turn in to your restaurant right up here, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are there any daycares or anything located in that mall or children's activity outfits?
No, sir.
Don't have any of that.
Since we're talking about what's around you, Richard, let me show you these statements from businesses in the area. These are statements that you gathered, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And I'll let you go through them, but these are businesses that are in the mall or very close by, is that correct?
Correct.
Just go through them briefly.
Okay.
I'll ask that the original be admitted as applicants too here in just a minute, but I'll give you a copy.
There's an eye care place. There's Fantastic Sam's. They signed those. investment company. There is, it looks like a children's shop, what's the name of that? Store place that they make clothing. Canning company, which is a jewelry place. Surroundings, also, place where you buy things for your house, backyard burgers, health in action, and
And this is the majority of the businesses that surround your restaurant, is that correct?
yes, sir.
It's 63 bypass, probably 53 miles.
3 miles.
This Southwest Drive is actually the street that goes to downtown Jonesboro. The Sacred Heart Hospital, medical complex, and all that stuff.
I'm sorry, Mr. Singleton, can I ask you a question before Dyer exhibit? This seems to be missing a business name.
Yeah, there's a couple of them here.
Do you know who that
Yes,
is?
sir, that's it.
Fantastic Sam says Randy Tanner.
And the other one is, the other one doesn't have a name.
The other one is who?
Dennis, the other manager at Washington.
Fantastic Sam.
Yes, sir.
So just will fill in.
Businesses are, what, most of them, doesn't seem to have any Dillards or Pennies or anything. What time do most of these people close?
There's a couple restaurants there, they close, I think 10, 11 o'clock. The rest of the places, I would say, I'm not positive, but I'd say around 7 or 8, I'm not positive.
Richard, let me show you another set of documents, which I believe is the floor plan to the Outback, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you have color-coded floor plan, yellow and blue. And what does the yellow represent on the floor plan?
That is, private club,
And the blue would be what?
the public.
I understand that the exhibit shows bathrooms off to the side, but those bathrooms don't currently exist. Is that
Correct.
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 So it's subject, this floor plan is subject to, some renovations.
Yes, sir.
These are this is a totally segregated area from where the people that don't, if in the event your permit was granted, that good folks that come in that don't want to have a drink, don't have to get involved at all with other folks.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Another entrance, yes, sir.
Richard, is this layout basically the layout that the Conway Outback has, that has a public area and private area?
Yes, sir.
And to your knowledge, how's that work in Conway?
Fine, no problems.
Are you gonna address, what's the seating? What numbers do you have in the private area and what numbers do you have in the public area?
Seating
Number of
capacity?
seats, yes.
I can look at it and tell you I'm not real positive. We're looking at,
More than 2/3 of the seating area is going to be dedicated to the club, is that correct?
correct.
Do you know the number of seats on each side?
No, sir.
What's the total capacity of the restaurant?
250 to 300.
So can we say that at least 200 seats will be in the private club part and 100 or less will be in the public part?
Yes, sir.
Is it any event, and this is strictly a business decision, are you prepared to shift that around if you need more seats in the area? I mean,
Yes, sir.
it's all your certainly a business decision.
Right. I mean, if it turns out that way, yes, sir.
Charles, now, are you saying that both of these have separate outside entrances?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there's two
There's
primaries.
a main entrance.
That's outside the private.
This is proposed, this is how they propose to modify the building if the license is granted.
Add that back.
Add bathrooms here, put the entrance door. Is that entrance already there?
Well, it's not quite, there is an exit door there, but they have to modify it.
these bathrooms you've got circled, that's the bathrooms that have to be added to make the plan work.
Correct, yes, sir.
Richard, talked about petitions. Mr. Fuller has asked you how they were gathered. You said that most of the petitions have been gathered in the restaurant.
Correct.
Is that correct? And a little bit disjointed with our petitions. Richard FedExed them to me a couple of days ago and ended up in Philadelphia, so we've been trying to get them back today or so. Finally got them this morning. The unfortunate part is I don't have copies of them. These are all original petitions. But let me ask you, Richard, you recognize this first set of petitions containing 660 signatures?
Yes, sir.
Is this the first set of petitions that you forwarded to me for inclusion in the record in this case?
Yes, sir.
These petitions, again, were pretty much gathered, majority of them in your restaurant. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So these are people that actually use your restaurant, that will use the private club if you get to the agreement.
Yes, sir.
I'll show you, we have copies of that set.
Yeah, that was the original set that was in the file.
No, this is in addition to,
Okay.
what's that in the file is 813 signatures. This is an additional 660.
These 825 right here?
Yeah, that's the original
Well,
set.
yeah, 45, I'm saying 813, so 45. Additional 660, Richard, this is something you gave me this morning, additional 201, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
This pile here is yet to be counted, but you have told me that it's approximately 1,500 more signatures, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And for these two, we will count those,
Why don't you just tell me what the approximate count is of the stuff that has not yet been placed in the file?
approximate count at this point has been is 2,300 more signatures.
Plus the ones that are included, and those are close, do not include the ones that are already in the
Well,
file.
that includes the 845 in the file, so well over 3,000.
You're gonna pass those by Mr. Cole, and give them to me.
Maybe you'll see that.
You'll pass, okay. I will mark these as number 4 with a count of 2,300 as noted as their count.
This is copy of the first 660, but interesting. Richard, we discussed just briefly the charitable activities of Outback in the area.
Yes, sir.
And you've heard me tell the board in the opening that you have, over the past, 4 years,
Yes, sir.
approximately,
4 now.
donated how much money to charitable nonprofit entities in Jonesboro?
Over 65,000.
Show you a list of entities with dollar amounts outside. Does this represent those donations?
Yes, sir.
Just briefly tell the board when this list first started.
All right, it started in 11/18/01. We did a chamber event. It was for seniors in high school. This lists everything we've done up until that time. We've done anywhere from T-ball teams, JCs, A-cards. We've done kid tours with students who come in and we show them what we do in the restaurant, give them a tour, and we also feed them. We've done Arkansas Children's Hospital. The list goes on and on. Soccer, T-ball, March of Dimes, Make-A-Wish. Just about anything you can think of. Cystic fibrosis, everything. Anything.
Y'all intend to, I'm assuming, continue that largesse, or are you gonna increase it, or what?
Depending if we are granted the license, I would assume they give us a certain amount of budget each year to do this with, and we get anywhere from $10,000 to $13,000 to do it. I've gone over every year by anywhere from $1,000 to $4,000. Just trying to be a person in the community, a nice business, but yes, we will continue doing that.
Okay.
And majority of these are from the local area.
All of the local area.
Arkansas Children's Hospital.
Well, yes, sir, but I mean, it's our area that raised the money for the Arkansas Children's Hospital.
You even make contributions to churches.
Yes, sir.
Is that to address a particular need at a church like a youth, or is it just a general contribution, or?
Both. We've sponsored youth in the past, and it's basically just to get their business, give them a taste of Outback. They basically sell tickets to raise money and get them in there to try it, so they'll come back.
Let's move on here, Mr. Singh.
Richard, you know how many private club permits there are in Brigham County?
Yes, sir. 13.
You know what the population of Brigham County was in 2000 census?
82,418.
Sorry, 82,000?
82,148.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
And approximately, if you know, how many permits is that per capita?
That's one for 6,300 and 1,800.
How far are y'all from the Bruceboro's new mall that's being constructed up there?
I'd say at least 5 miles.
That evidently is going to bring a world of people into that area. I've been up there and looked at that mall.
Very quickly, Richard, you've seen the permit list of ABC for Craighead County,
Yes, sir.
and I'm showing you one out from Benton County, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
How many private clubs are there in Benton County?
84.
And per capita, how many, what's the population in Benton County,
152,406.
and per capita, how many permits per person is that in Benton County?
1,826.
Just for purposes of comparison, based on those numbers, Benton County has 4 times as many per
Yes, sir.
capita as Craighead County.
Yes, sir.
Would ask that these figures, we can show those numbers we did as applicants.
Maybe 6.
Applicants 6. You want to see it, okay? Richard, as we discussed, as you know, private clubs in Arkansas have to exist for some purpose other than serving alcoholic beverages. Will your club exist for purposes other than alcoholic beverage consumption?
Yes, sir.
And what would some of those purposes be?
We have a place, a full restaurant, place for meeting, board members, helping the chamber grow economically in our community.
Mr. Single, let me be clear here. So, this is looking at the list, and I believe you said that you just kind of registered. This would be the second restaurant that has a club, that would have the private club permit.
Of course, we know.
The rest of these are traditional
Since the
private
law
clubs.
was changed,
It's low.
there's another one up there already, the 501.
501
It's
Club, it's a restaurant.
That is it's a bar and a
It
restaurant.
has a state house in it.
Yeah, but it's got a dance club and everything.
But
It's,
since the laws changed, Heroes was the first restaurant, and then Julio's applied for
haven't done anything with
a
it.
license, was granted, they have yet to do
We gotta make some modifications.
the remodeling of the building.
So,
And, so this would be the third applicant that was on the line.
So, the 501 Club and Pierro's are the two.
501 Club, has been a club in business for years. 15 or 20 years, and I think a few years ago, they added a steakhouse inside.
So they were a private club that added food to it, more or less.
But the Holiday Inn, they got restaurants.
Holiday Inn is that private club license since 1981. There's one here and that.
Albert Club.
Howard Club, and they've got a restaurant inside that, but it's also just a lounge kind of situation in addition.
Rest of them up there, I believe, are country clubs and VFWs and that sort of thing.
Richard, your restaurant's main line is food, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
If you get this license, will you continue to do food?
Yes, sir.
Will anybody be in there drinking who aren't having food?
No, sir.
You're gonna try to do it on the same line, I think you said earlier, it's one Conway's operating right now.
Yes, sir.
Just briefly, let me ask you a few questions about the corporate structure of Outback Steakhouse in Jonesboro. It's been incorporated now for how many years?
5, I believe.
I show a date of original incorporation, August 14, 1998. Would that be
Yes, sir.
ballpark?
Yes, sir.
And it was incorporated, to your knowledge, in the Arkansas Nonprofit Corporation Act.
Yes, sir.
At some point there, it's changed, the name was changed to Outback Steakhouse in Jonesboro, Inc.
Yes, sir.
Correct? And when that happened?
September 14th, 1990.
And it's operated under that name since then.
Yes, sir.
Was of course, the nonprofit, I guess, was over a year old when you made this application,
Yes, sir.
and you submitted the appropriate minutes authorizing the application, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
How many members did you have when the application was filed?
3.
An application was filed on membership.
Oh, I'm sorry. 132.
And you're a member of the board of directors, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
What do you know about nonprofit corporation law as far as how a nonprofit can be dissolved?
The Secretary of State, the Attorney General, or the members or directors.
There's 3 different methods to your knowledge.
Yes, sir.
Is Outback Steakhouse in Jonesboro ever been dissolved under any one of those 3 methods?
Yes, sir.
Is the corporation still in good standing?
Yes,
As
sir.
far as you know? I'll show you a certificate of good standing, issued from the Secretary of State's office. Have you seen that before?
Yes, sir.
And it indicates as of January 17th, the corporation is still in good standing, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Offer certificate is evidence.
7.
Pass witness.
Well, hang on just a minute. Did the board, any members of the board have any questions of this witness?
I have one question. You indicate you have 132 members.
Yes, sir.
Have all 132 paid the $5 membership fee?
Yes, sir.
Where does that money go?
Separate payment for if we get a license for the nonprofit. The nonprofit and the private.
Keeping the funds
Separate,
segregated?
yes, sir.
Again, how long have you been collecting or members, soliciting members?
Maybe a year.
How do you do that? You just ask people to pay $5?
Yes, sir. Is that coming in?
Most of those people from Jonesboro?
Yes, sir.
I noticed on your list there were a number of folks from Paragould.
Right. That's a
Surrounding
10
areas.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Hope, thank you. Thank you very much. You're on. You're on, Mr. Hope.
Okay. Am I right to say there's a national organization, national business restaurant entity called Outback Steakhouse?
Possible, I'm not sure.
Are you part of the franchise?
Kind of, yes, sir.
Are there other Outback Steakhouses across the nation other than yours?
Yes, sir.
And are they all put together somehow? Are they all part of the same business organization?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And are you still part of that business organization?
Yes, sir.
Are you telling this board that when you separate your floor plan into 2/3 private and 1/3 public, that 2/3 is going to be completely separate from that national organization and have nothing to do with it?
It's going to be a different entity, yes, sir.
Is that 2/3 all that? Is it fair to say that if you separate your restaurant into 2/3 alcohol private club and 1/3 public non-alcohol, it's only that 1/3 that's still going to have anything to do with reporting income, sharing income, and so forth with that national corporation?
Yes, sir, to my knowledge. I believe we will have two different accounts.
Okay. Who does the bookkeeping?
Accountants, typically, not
I know, not you, and that's why I'm asking who does it. You know a name?
different accounts at home office, our account's name is Ray.
Okay. So you send your bookkeeping to the home office?
Correct.
Okay. And will you be sending your bookkeeping from the private as well as the public part of this restaurant to the home office?
I'm not positive.
I just think it'd be kind of important to know the answer to that, since you're representing to this board that this is a completely different agency, completely different organization, and have no contact.
Well, if we weren't granted a license, we have to reconstruct, do all kinds of different things. We have at least 2 to 3 months to get all that set.
So the game plan is to, now you've already incorporated as a private club though, right?
Yes, yes,
Well, have you?
yes.
Okay. You've already incorporated as a private club. Have you already made the wall between the 2 sections of the restaurant?
No, sir.
Okay. So basically what you're telling this board is that as to the keeping the money separate and all that kind of thing, keeping the account separate and basically running a national franchise restaurant in Jonesboro, you're going to figure out the technicalities of that and how to do it after they grant you your license. You really have no idea how you're going to do that yet.
Well, we've talked to different accountants and we have an idea.
Okay. Can you assure this board that no part of the revenue from that private club is going to go into the hands of corporate shareholders,
Yes.
even though you haven't figured out how that's possibly going to happen?
Well, we've talked to different accountants and they're working on it.
Okay.
Are y'all gonna try to use accountants that handle private clubs, as there are a number of them here in Arkansas? I mean, are you gonna
Yes, sir.
use people that are just, we got some pretty strict reporting requirements
Right.
on all this stuff.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Even with that, though, you still have to make all your reporting. You still have to follow the requirements of Outback National Corporation in order to maintain your franchise, don't you?
Well, it'd be a different scenario, because it'd be the Conway's doing it right now. We'd do the same thing they do.
Whatever that is. Okay.
Okay.
Are you representing to this board that in this intersection that they have a map of, we don't have traffic congestion, we don't have everything just flows smoothly through that?
We don't have any wrecks,
We don't have any wrecks.
not at Alexander and Southwest
Alexander.
for last
no.
year.
Alexander, though, when you say we don't have any wrecks, you're saying Alexander and Southwest, which is this one little part of this bigger intersection, right?
Right.
Okay. You're not representing to the board that let me give
Charles, hand me the map.
with me, can you figure out, tell the board where Outback is on this map?
Yes, sir.
Feel free to stand up for a minute.
Looks like, to my knowledge, it's
Swear?
right here.
Okay, that big black bird.
Yes, sir. First one.
So, when you tell the board, we've had no wreck at this intersection, the intersection that you're picking is not this intersection. It's
The one
this,
closest to us, yes, sir.
okay, this little part of the intersection right here.
Right here, yes, sir.
Okay.
The one closest to us.
Okay. Have you even studied this big intersection?
We've done some research on this.
Okay. Can you verify to the board, can you give the board any level of confidence that, that everybody who comes in and out of Outback just comes through here, or do they sometimes go off this way and this intersection? Okay. So is this really an accurate, your statistic that there's been no intersections, in this little spot right here, is that, do you think, really a fair assessment of the safety of the traffic flow around this area?
That's the intersection closest to us.
I understand. We can have a seat. When you gathered your support petition names, did you pay any attention to where the people were from as they were signing it, or did they just come in the restaurant and sign it?
Most of them are customers. We try to get Jonesboro people, but we also have surrounding people.
Okay. Do you know whether you have people that are just outside of Jonesboro or outside of the county that Jonesboro is in, or even outside the state? You know?
Yeah, there's some on there. I'm sure we have some guests from outside the state. That's not an issue.
So when you say that you have, you remember what the total number you gave was?
3,000, over 3,000.
Okay, when we say over 3,000 then, you know how many of those don't actually, the petition says, we the undersigned who are residents of Jonesboro and the surrounding area. You're not submitting to this panel that you have 3,000 signatures of residents of Jonesboro here, are you?
I guess not, for sure.
Okay. Do you really have any idea what the number is that you're suggesting Jonesboro residents who signed this petition?
I would say we're pretty close to the 3,000.
Pretty close to 3,000. Okay. Are you saying that because you feel like that's the thing to say at this hearing at the moment, or do you really know?
No, I do not know.
That's
I would just,
Okay. You said Outback has been at this location for 4.5 years?
yes, sir.
Okay. And how's your business? Are you having waiting lines, waiting periods when people come in for dinner?
On the weekend?
On the weekends? Okay. Do you expect that you can do any weekend? I mean, is it fair to say that whether you have alcohol or not, weekends are going to be your busiest time?
Correct.
Okay. And how long if I came in on an average Friday night, how long would my wait be right now?
Probably 45 minutes.
Okay. So what you're suggesting to the board, I'm just trying to figure this out. You're suggesting to the board that what you want to do is have more business so that people can. How are you trying to increase your business from that?
During the week, usually, we rarely go on the way during the week.
So you're not going to suggest to this board then that the hours that you're looking to make a difference in serving alcohol are weekends and after hours and so forth. You want to be doing it during the week for dinners and lunches.
Just dinners.
Just dinners. You don't want to serve alcohol at all for lunch.
We're not open during the weekend.
Okay. What day is that? How early in the day do you open?
5 o'clock during the week, Monday through Thursday.
You're going to continue that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again, though, you're not representing to this board that alcohol is going to increase your business on the weekends. You're trying to bring people in and offer them alcohol to drink during business, during the week business days.
Sure, and during the weekend, yes, sir.
Sure. Okay.
What is the hours we're talking about?
We're open Monday through Thursday, 5 to 10. Friday, 4 to 11. Saturday, noon to 11. And Sunday, 11 to 9.
So no late hours about the right? No.
No, sir.
Monday,
Midnights.
5 to 10.
Yes, sir.
Monday
Through Thursday,
through Thursday.
5 to 10.
And then Friday,
4 to 11.
Saturday, 12,
11.
and Sunday.
11 to 9.
You, we're gonna figure out the accounting issues after you get the permit, right?
Sort of like the construction, yes, sir.
Okay, we're gonna figure out the construction after you get the permit, right?
Correct.
We're going to, do you know how close your nearest church is?
I'm guessing about a quarter of a mile.
Quarter of a mile. If, let's go back to this map. If, this is Outback right here, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, your nearest church would be right here, isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you're figuring that's about a quarter of a mile.
Whatever you say it is, I don't know.
I'm not saying it is, I can't testify here.
I don't know what this is.
Okay, is it walking distance?
You can walk, yes, sir.
Okay, it's actually just a stroll through a parking lot. Backyard Burger is right here, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, you can walk that pretty easily. Just walk through the parking lot of this building right here, and you're at your closest church, right?
Still over here, yes, sir.
Okay. Where's your nearest school, do you know?
No, sir. It's
You ever
not
see
gonna be very close.
school buses ever come through this intersection?
I'm sure down 63 they do, but not on 49 or 53 they do. Oh, yes, they do, yes,
Okay.
You wouldn't have any trouble with school buses in the morning, but there would be school buses, well, what, you can open at 5?
yes, sir.
So they'll be gone other than school events and that sort of thing in the evenings. If they have school events that the buses are running, or traffic going to and from. David, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. How far is the nearest school?
Did you know?
Somebody?
I'm guessing 3, 4, 5 miles.
Oh, okay.
I'll have this.
No, 1 mile.
No.
1 mile. 1
Oh,
mile.
well, we'll let the attorneys get all this. Believe me, they'll put it out for us here, folks.
But that's over. I mean, it's a commercial area, but you.
Well, I believe we're gonna get all the facts.
Just a second, then I'll record.
It's a commercial area, but that does make.
You're getting paid by the word today.
1 mile, 1 mile.
This is commercial area, so what do you think?
From the church to the Outback?
Not property line, building.
I'd probably, building, I'd probably say
300.
football field. And Mr. Fuller, if I may, can I advise any clients that I have in the audience not to direct witnesses while on the scene?
I think they heard us both.
Okay, that's important. All respect to even the audience, but let's not correct witnesses while they're on the stand. That's all I have for this witness.
Okay, thank you. Does the board have any other thoughts or redirect here, Mr. Singleton?
Richard, you're not a nonprofit expert at this point in your life, are you?
No, sir.
Do you understand that nonprofit will operate in conjunction with the profit business there at that location?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand that you have to have separate books, records, and bank accounts? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Nonprofit has to get a tax ID number, pay tax on alcohol, food, whatever. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You intend for the nonprofit to share employees with the profit and divide the cost of that in some manner?
Yes, sir.
And that's what you're trying to say, your accountants are gonna have to try to figure out what the formula needs to be if and when you get the license, is that correct?
Correct.
That's all I need.
Okay, Mr. Singleton, call your next witness.
I think I'll call Monteem McNulty.
Is this fine?
Aldi, always a pleasure to have you. Good to see you. Thank you.
Would you state your name for the record, please, ma'am?
Montana McDonald.
And what is your occupation in the world?
I'm Executive Director of the Arkansas Hospitality Association and Manager Association under that is Arkansas Restaurant.
And Outback Steakhouse in Jonesboro has been one of your members, is that
Yes.
correct? And you know Mr. Johnson?
I do.
Would you tell the board why you're here in support of this application?
Well, I appreciate having the opportunity to be here. I'm here to support not only a very fine, outstanding national group, but Mr. Johnson has been my member, and they have done not only a great job of just being a good restaurant and serving their customers, but they've also been a great part of the community in Jonesboro. He did a pretty good job of telling things, but I wanted to brag on him and them a little further. I only had one copy left, but this is the 2004 Restaurant Neighbor Award nationally, and each year we have the pleasure of nominating restaurants for this award, and in 2004, Outback in Jonesboro received the Good Neighbor Award on behalf of Arkansas. They did, as well as Lily's Dim Sum, and in Little Rock. And they are featured in this book, and they go beyond what they have to do. We like to think that Arkansas restaurants are the cornerstones of their community, and many of them do really good work, but they go beyond that. I also want to add on that he runs such a good operation, and I know that they will abide by all the alcohol regulations that you have, the laws of the state of Arkansas, and will try to serve their customers and their community in this way. And I think that they are an organization that is certainly capable of doing that, and they will continue their good work. I'll add that we do Serve Safe Alcohol. It's a certification by the National Restaurant Association. I suspect Outback has a similar thing, but we would offer our training to them, and we train their servers in that way. We take very seriously serving alcohol responsibly, as you do, and I know they will carry on that.
How many Outbacks are members of your association?
There are some 4 or 5 in the state of Arkansas, and I would say 3 of those are.
Do they all serve alcohol?
Yes, the 3 that well, this
You
one
know,
does
is
not.
the
and this
corporation
one
good to work with? I mean, in your association? Because we've
I
got
would say
an
that on the
overlying
national level,
corporation.
Outback is one of the most respected corporations, and certainly in our state it is too. It's just a top-notch, well-run organization, and the way they interact with the community and do business is just exceptional.
You feel like these people do the same thing?
I do.
In saying that, I'm sure you'll say that they pay all the taxes too.
Their taxes?
Yeah.
Well, I've never known that they didn't pay their taxes.
Sure they do.
The good law we've got now shuts them down pretty quick
Absolutely.
if they don't. Okay, any questions from the board from Ms. McNulty?
Just one, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for coming this morning. It's always
You're
a
welcome.
pleasure to see you. In your opinion, would it be in the public interest and convenience to issue this permit?
Yes.
Thank you.
So,
Ms. McNulty, do you have any testimony at all to offer about the number of existing or the type of existing beverage alcohol permits in this area?
In Jonesboro? Not other than, I know there was a restaurant that received a permit a year or 2 ago. And I know that there's an existing club that I'm familiar with that has one. Beyond that, I'm really not familiar.
are any of those others members of your association?
And do you have any testimony at all to offer? That's factors 1 and 2 that this board is supposed to consider. Do you have any testimony at all about factor 3, which is suitability of its location, traffic hazards, congestion, remoteness, law enforcement available, things like that? Do you have any testimony about those facts?
No.
Okay. Do you know anything to testify about their proposed building, location, condition, security? Do you know anything about that?
No, other than what I heard from them.
Okay. And do you have any testimony about the impact that this may have, or the effect this may have on schools or churches and such?
No, other than I think that it can safely coexist, and I think that they will do everything they can to be responsible servers, and, you know, you don't have to overindulge or overserve to responsibly do.
So on that issue, your testimony is not that you know something, but you hope and wish that they will not have an impact really at all.
Well, I'm very well aware of this business operation and their reputation, and I think that they will never do anything to jeopardize that in the future.
when you say you're aware of this business operation and their reputation, are you speaking of this locality, which doesn't serve alcohol, and their reputation, or the national chain?
I was thinking about this locality.
Okay, and the fact that they don't serve alcohol anywhere yet.
Not yet.
So we can't really say what they're going to do when they're serving alcohol so much as you know them as they don't serve alcohol right now.
Well, I think it's possible to predict the professionalism of a business, and I think that they will do a very fine job with that, and I think that's possible to predict.
And do you have any testimony to offer from law enforcement or any other public officials in the Jonesboro area?
No, I understand there's strong business in Jonesboro.
And where do you live?
I live in Pine Bluff and I work in Jonesboro.
So you're not a business owner in Jonesboro, you don't live in Jonesboro, you're not a citizen of Jonesboro, you're not a property owner in Jonesboro.
No, but I represent businesses all over.
I understand. That's it.
Thank you. Anything else? Ms. McDonald, thank you for being here this morning. We appreciate it. Ms. Singleton, who else?
Call Dr. Gary Lieutenant.
Doctor, how are you this morning?
Great.
All right. Yes, we've seen you before.
Doctor, would you state
Would you
your
spell
name,
your name,
please?
Spell it?
Yes.
Latanich. His name is Gary.
Where do you live, Gary?
I live in Jonesboro, Arkansas.
And what is your occupation?
Professor of Economics, Department of Economics, Arkansas State.
And you are here in support of this application, is that correct? Would you just tell the board why you're here and why you think this would be in the best interest of your community?
As an economist, my interest is in the area of economic development, economic impact, incomes, stuff like that. If you look at Jonesboro, and look at the unemployment rate in Jonesboro, you'll notice that the most recent rate of decline is 3.9%. The national average rate is 4.7%. So, if you look at the unemployment rates, this is really good. Okay, you would get the impression that Jonesboro is doing fine. In terms of employment, they are. The only time that the nation has actually had unemployment rates equal to Jonesboro were late in the Clinton administration, and then during the early stages of the Vietnam War around 1969. So getting down to 3.9 is very rare nationally. This is a very good thing. If you dig deeper into Jonesboro's economic conditions, you look at their per capita income, and you would suspect that with these low unemployment rates, per capita income would be very good. In fact, per capita income in Jonesboro is only $17,000 compared to 21 nationally. Our citizens on a per person basis don't fare as well as the nationwide. Okay. Now, per capita numbers are averages, and they can be skewed by outliers. It doesn't take too many Bill Gates moving to Jonesboro to push that average up. So, a better measure of income in the city would be median family income. Instead of top of bars and the center guy. Median family income in Jonesboro is $32,000 versus $41,000 in the nation. So we're clearly about $9,000 below what the nation is. Okay. So the question is, well, what's going on here? How can we have such high employment levels and our income levels are so far below the national average? And what you get basically is the distribution of jobs is skewed to the left. Okay? While some of the best jobs in Jonesboro pay very well, some of the low-end jobs pay truly bad. I mean, minimum wage at best. Okay, this low-end jobs contributes to a poverty problem. If you look at the nation as a whole, about 12.5 citizens out of every 100 are poor, 12%. In Jonesboro, it's 17%. So basically, we've got a problem here that we played the cards we had, and for years, southern states, including Arkansas, played the low-wage card. Leave the Great Lakes states, leave California, come here, pay less, be competitive. And they did. They came here, pay local wages. We've got all the employment. Now we have, basically, we're still the second or third poorest state in the nation. What we need to do with trade now is allow some of these low-paid jobs move to Mexico, Philippines, what have you, and attract higher-paying jobs. That's the goal here, economic development. Firms, there is no real evidence that firms follow commodities. So you're not going to hear me say grant a lot of licenses, have a lot of restaurants, and firms are gonna come here because of those restaurants. That's not gonna happen. Firms follow labor forces, okay? Why we have low-end jobs now is because we advertise ourselves as low-end wages. Okay? What we wanna do is get out of that. Okay? Right now, the city is trying to develop, okay? One of their efforts right now is to put together a convention center. Okay? Hammond's is proposing building a hotel. If the city will come up with $17 million for a convention center, they're gonna do this. The idea is we'll advertise ourselves as a convention location. If we can attract companies to come in, or people that come in for conventions, there'll be activity, sales, incomes, economic development. The idea that you can develop in the area of tourism is not illogical, okay? If you look at Chad Wilkerson's study with the Federal Reserve in Kansas City, they've done a number of studies on business travel and amenities. And what they found is that business travel and amenities is related to two things. Travel and tourism is related to two things. Business activity and amenities, okay? That's why people travel, business or vacations, amenities. Amenities are divided into two kinds. We call them natural, mountains, rivers, oceans, Grand Canyon, that kind of stuff, and cultural amenities. Wilkerson mentioned museums, amusement parks, casinos, historical sites, entertainment districts, which include restaurants. Okay? So, cultural amenities are a big thing. If you look at the studies that the Fed has done in the 10th district, states that grow fastest are the Rocky Mountain states, natural amenities, and the one state in the 10th district that has the most cultural amenities, Missouri. Urban areas, amusement parks, casinos, restaurants, entertainment districts. They seem to see a big connection between the population growth and different kinds of amenities. People move to these areas. Okay? Beyond Wilkerson's study, what else do we have? Buchanan in 1999 looked at amenity counties and non-amenity counties and found that those that were rich in amenities had 3 times the income of those that were not. We looked at Cordell, he finds that employment growth is higher in amenity counties. And lastly, Green finds that what really attracts people to areas is amenities. But the caveat here is that just not anybody's attracted. There seems to be a big connection